Kia ora crew, hello, and welcome back. 2025, we made it, we did it, we're here, we're still going, Fate of Isen, craziness. Apparently there's no Julz? Wait, what? Is there no Julz?
Oh no.
Oh no, no audio at all?
We have to run the Julz.
Are you kidding me?
Okay. The podcast is experiencing technical difficulties. Please
you know
hold.
what? This makes sense because I couldn't hear anything before and now you can't hear anything. Okay, you know what? We're going to undo that.
Silent podcast.
We're going to go back to starting soon.
It's like a silent disco, but more
Honestly,
like
vibes.
What is happening? Oh my god. I may have to restart OBS. I have no idea what's happening. So I just...
Hey, Brad, keep half of this in, not the middle part.
You know, Brad, run it. Run the whole thing.
Yeah. All together. Quick, Severin, make jokes.
What do you call a fly with no wings?
I don't know. What do you call a fly with no wings?
A walk.
I've got a pun about the wind. It blows.
Hey.
Are we helping, Julz?
I have no idea.
I'll find more jokes. Hang on, let me look at...
One of my favorite ones is a man walks into a bar with a frog on his head, and the bartender asks, "What happened there?" And the man says, "Well, it started out as a pimple on my butt." Or the frog says that. Anyway.
Oh my god. Apparently they heard the joke.
Which one?
And we're back into transition, so let's just...
Nailed it!
What was that bit about being silent?
No idea.
Happy 2025.
What up?
What up? This is the first time we're totally doing this. This is totally the first time. 2025. Welcome back. Apparently, all of my sound settings had reset. I'm trying really hard right now not to blame Paul, but I am also very tempted to blame Paul because Paul has been playing with the sound on my computer. So he may or may not be alive tomorrow. We'll see.
Oh no, it's Paul aside.
R.I.P.
So, kia ora, and welcome back to Fate of Isen Pukapukarua. We are a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition podcast made by a bunch of Kiwi comedians, proud members of Kiwi RPG, Kia Mu Whakatau o Aotearoa, tabletop role-playing from New Zealand. We kōrero paki, we tell some jokes, hopefully save the world, and have a whole lot of fun along the way. Watch Amy for pinging issues. No, that's already happened. Thanks, Amy. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. If it is your first time visiting Isen, welcome. And for all the Faties who are coming home again, welcome back. It's really great to see you. It really, really is. It's another year. My goodness, Fate of Isen cracks a whole nother year with a cast and a DM and sound and the glitteriest moderator you've ever seen. And you, the audience, listening and coming along to our live stream. And it just means more than you know. I'll try not to cry right in the intro. We've got a whole exciting story of Pukapukarua book 2 to tell you, and I do have a wonderful cast of heroes to help me discover it. So let's meet the Sidebars. Take it away.
Kia ora koutou, ko Severin toko ingoa. I play Dexter Clementine, who's a bit of a punchy boy, a bit of a monkey boy. It is Dex 2, Return of the Clan. Happy 2023, everybody. And moving across to the other person on your screen.
Oh hey, it's me, Erika. I'm back. What? I play Taryn Grim, who's a storm sorcerer, water genasi. I'm rusty. I don't know what I'm playing. We'll find out as we go. It's great. Over to you, Julz.
And hi, I'm Julz, DM Julz. I'm going to be your DM today. You may notice that we are a couple of players down from our normal big cast. Kasha is still storming the real life hills and dales and mountains and things out there, actually trekking in real wildlife with a real adventuring pack on. It's very exciting. There's photos on Kasha's Instagram if you follow that, which is very, very cool. And JD is, just being a functional mental health space, looking after themselves, and we stan good mental health. So I've just brought along a friend instead today. We'll just have this guy.
New member of the podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't get him his own camera, but I feel like.
I feel like we've got to cut to the kobold cam at some point.
Yeah. Can he DM from your lap? Is it possible?
He is quite large. I know that kobold seems small, but this guy seems quite big.
The kobold has the intense villainous eyes that we're going to get TPK'd.
I know.
So I'm not on board with this idea. Look at it. Look at it. He'll TPK party. He'll let the dice decide.
No dice, only kobold.
There's only kobold.
Only kobold.
Roll the moves.
So, yes, okay. So we have got a few of the party missing, but we're going to soldier on regardless and see what is happening up in the air. So, where did we last leave the Sidebars? Well, they were standing over the defiant body of Kale Nightwing, demanding to know why he had done what he had done, with a devastated Auran trying to help her sister, all crumpled with pain on the floor. The authorities of the Air Kingdom had just burst in, and they had begun to take charge. Since then, the Sky Order have it well in hand. They took Kale into custody and ensured that Zephyra and Auran, as well as the other distraught and injured Sky Kingdom folks, were safely delivered home, or that they were delivered to people who could do last rites. Yeah, there was a few people that didn't make it through that. Our Sidebars were given a long side eye, but they were allowed to return to the tavern that they were calling home. Taking a long rest and gathering their strength, the Sidebars were told to stay put. Until things had been further investigated, they were not free to come and go as they pleased in the Air Kingdom. And it has been a couple of fairly kind of tense and maybe a little boring days. So, what do we find our Sidebars doing? Now, you do know that Bardley has managed to sneak out of the tavern multiple days, going on leads, hunts, anything that you can think of as to where Granny might be, and comes back each night just truly exhausted and tumbles into bed. So not a lot going on with Bardley right now, but you guys have been sort of covering for that and also just trying to be actively good people. Yeah, so what have you been doing over the last couple of days?
I think Taryn would have made a bed effigy, like, you know, when you have the bed to pretend that someone's actually sleeping in bed, or just like they're stuck covering for Bardley every time they come in. I've got like a air cantaloupe and some eyes.
And a lute.
Yeah.
Must be Bardley.
That's Bardley, of course it's Bardley.
Got a lute. Yeah.
Who else would it be? Yeah, Dexter might be running on some errands, checking on, is it Zephyrus?
Well, you've actually been told you're not allowed to leave the tavern, so that's why that's why you have to cover Bardley from being seen leaving the tavern, you know?
Dexter will probably forget, attempt to leave the tavern and be like, oh yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. There is a lot of things that you want to do. You probably ask a few times and you're just told, no, sit tight until the investigation's finished.
No, outside is like right there. I mean, is there much difference between me being here and then like just right there?
Yeah. They're like, yeah.
Okay.
It's not inside the tavern.
Ah, I see. Is the whole world not a tavern if you really think about it?
There's plenty of drinks to go around.
Yeah, but I don't get paid for all of them, and I'm getting paid to keep my eye on you, so...
Would you like a drink? I'm sure we can scrounge up a drink from the tavern owner at some point. It's
exactly.
nice and hot outside.
You've been working a long time, take a load off.
No, it's all right. I get paid in alcohol as soon as I finish my shift, and the other guy takes over. He drinks all day.
It seems very bad for both of your health.
Yeah. Do you need a doctor to look at the liver? We met someone in downtown by the alley. She's really good at healing.
No, it's all right. I get paid enough to go to the rich folk side of town's doctors. I don't need no crooked alley doctor.
That's pretty good for a guard, I have to say.
Yeah. Does the doctor also get paid in alcohol? Because that seems like a very bad idea.
I mean, most things can be fixed with a drink or a cup of tea. Isn't that right?
I am bemused by your beverage-based economy.
Yeah.
Please, tell me more about it. I have nothing but time here in this tavern. What does a glass of water get you compared to some juice?
Yeah. So you pass the time talking about
I think Taryn starts stacking cups.
this particular guard's like idea of alcohol-based economy until you realize that he is totally being facetious and is basically just giving you an answer that he thought might make you go away, but you clearly didn't. So it sort of backfired on him, and now he's having to sit there and explain things.
Is the guy who's like, oh, this guy that can't leave the tavern, he's just gonna like walk away. This guy that obviously wants to leave.
Please tell us all about your drinks menu that you have through the entire continent of. I want every note.
Roll an insight check on that behavior. Like, you're like, would he, like, why would he think that, you know?
Yeah, the silly goose. Let me parkour across to the old
first roll.
Character sheet. I know, I've got to dust off the cobwebs, I tell you. Insight door, that is a 13.
Okay.
Unlucky for some.
Yeah, I think with a 13, though, you would figure out that he seems confused that you were, like, even questioning orders. Like, obviously the Air Kingdom is quite a law-abiding place, and so when you're told something, you know, most people just do it fairly unflinchingly, fairly unquestioningly. So that means that Kale Nightwing's behavior is even more odd, really, if you put it into that. So, like, they're like, why are you not just sitting down until we tell you? You know, he's just confused.
Yeah. I love the idea that people don't, like, litter or jaywalk. So somebody creating a murder dress is that worse.
Yeah, like he must have been really desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where his wife at? Who knows?
Yeah.
You don't.
Oh, Eric. He died again. Wait, he didn't die the first time. We showed amazing restraint.
We did save his life to an
Good
extent.
job, Tim. And what's our reward? Getting locked down in a tavern?
Yeah, we saved so many people.
Let's focus.
Maybe
focus on the good stuff.
Focus on the people that could have died, but didn't.
We don't know the other people, but we saved these people that we knew. We did good stuff.
Your Honor, wonderful people of the jury, shall we focus on the lives that could have been lost?
And the lives that we saved.
And the lives we will continue to save.
We will save.
I'll allow it. I'll allow you to blindly focus on that.
Is that just the bartender allowing it? It's not even just the judges, it's us talking to the bartender.
Yeah, the bartenders, like, I'll allow it.
Yeah. Dexter might have, like, lost his mind. Put, like, a bunch of tankards up together and it's just, like, gesturing at them.
Yeah.
Are we learning how to do bar tricks where you, like, pour the drinks down, like, the different levels of champagne and you have, like, one cup and another and you pour it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were learning to do probably bar tricks that involve, like, clouds and weird things that they can do with air.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm fully into that.
Yeah. So a couple of days pass like this. A little bit, like I say, boredom, a little bit of you guys just sort of going slightly insane as you're doing the same things over and over and causing your own fun and a little bit of chaos. And honestly, by the time the tavern owner knocks on your door on the third day, you can see that he seems to be quite relieved to be carrying some notes for you as well. Yeah, so Gareth Lowridge, the owner of the Without Wings, knocks on your door in the morning and is like, for you, these came.
Thank you, Gary.
He just kind of nods and closes the door, goes about his day.
Dexter will read the note.
What does it
Intrigued
say?
as he is.
So, one of them is from the Air Kingdom's Law and Order, and basically clears you of any wrongdoing. So they say, like, they've investigated, they understand what happened, there has been corroborating witness reports that, you know, the attack happened and you stepped in to stop it. So they not only, clear you of wrongdoing, but they apologize for the inconvenience of having to keep you in the tavern under, you know, watch for a couple of days. But they also thank you for your cooperation while they did that, you know. They also let you know that Kale remains confined. They will be keeping him under guard. And since he has been under their watch, there have been no further incidents of garment attacks. So they believe that they have found the culprit and that there is no need to further investigate, which is what that one letter says.
Amazing. Brief tangent, which I know you love, Julz. Brad, can you edit in the Law and Order dun-dun whenever we say Law and Order. Just for the podcast listeners at home.
We can edit ourselves. Just have Severin every time. Law and Order. Dun dun.
Dun, dun. I can't do it justice. You have to have the original drop, like it's a morning zoo radio show. And then to further the plot into what is happening, if Dexter is able to leave the tavern, he will first check on Zeph. In his brain, that he at least calls her, if not out loud, and then try to remember, because it's been a couple of days. The last place Sea Dog, who's locked up, would have seen his wife.
Was it just one note, sorry, before Dexter runs off with it? There was 3? Dexter, don't run off with the other notes.
No, don't worry about it.
But I need stuff. I need to know.
No. It's just like a bunch of boring, Law and Order stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, can I take it for now? I'd love to.
Dexter just flicks it over his shoulder.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll fill you in later.
Run out of the tavern. Yeah.
I'm out of here. Peace. Before they can change their minds.
Yeah. So are you heading to Zephyr's store or are you heading to Auran's store?
Yes. So from memory, Dexter did want to talk to Gourley, but at the time of what was happening. But I think as he kind of reflects on it, Gourley is quite sick, quite out of breath, and maybe thinks better of disturbing her this time.
Yeah, okay.
And so he wants to check on Zephyr, who was in not a good way after the fashion show from hell. Project Runaway.
Yeah, so instead of heading to Skydrape Silks, you head to, what did we say? Cloud Cave? Yeah, Cloud Cave.
Cloud Cave!
Cloud Cave. So you start heading off that way, across the, and people are sort of, nodding at you a little bit. I mean, yes, you are, beings from Earth where there aren't, from the continent of Isen. And there aren't many up here, but also there are little, whispers and points as you're moving through the space as well.
Can I insight check the whispers and points to see if they are positive or possibly malicious in nature?
100%.
Oh my god, I can't believe he'd shown his face after 2 days in the tavern. It's a 6.
Yeah, honestly,
Dexter's focus on the goal.
Yeah, they're giving you quite furtive looks. They're not giving you clean, eye contact or whatever. If they catch you looking, they sort of put up and hustle away. They're definitely not coming towards you with big grins. So it's actually kind of hard to see what the vibe of that is. Yeah. Nobody's coming at you also with angry, but no one's smiling as such either. So it's kind of hard.
Right. We're possibly controversial figures, but possibly not. Who knows?
Hey, we came third. It's fine. We'll be recognizable at some point.
Exactly. I think in Dexter's mind, it's like a celebrity that was really famous in the 80s, but you see them now, and you're like, I know that guy from that thing. So Dexter's nobody really knows who he is. He just looks maybe like someone, and he's just going to kind of barrel forward.
Nice. Cool. And as you're sort of doing that, and you're heading towards, Costume Cloud Cave, where, that Zephyr has a store, we switch back to the tavern to see Taryn open or look at the other 2 letters, which aren't open. One of them has quite a neat sort of precise scrawl, addressed to the heroes at the tavern. Very vague, not actually addressed to anybody by name.
Is it on a good paper or something fancy?
Not particularly fancy, not particularly very, what you would just have lying around at home to scroll a note on,
And what language is it in? Do I recognize the language still?
It is in common. Okay. Yeah. And then the other note does look much fancier on stationery that even smells nice, and is actually addressed to you all by name.
And the monk was just going to throw these away. I'm going to open up the. I'm going to open up the first letter, the one that's not as fancy, just to have a read through.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it says, to the heroes at the tavern, I am a nurse of the sky. I have a patient in my care who you saw last. She does not speak. If you have any knowledge that you could share that would assist in her healing, I would appreciate it. I guess, signed the Nurse of the Sky.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll open up the fancy looking.
Yeah. And this one is addressed to you all. So, to Bardley and Granny and Taryn and Dexter. I wish to say thank you, but to say thank you is not even enough. I believe that you will be found innocent, as you should be, and I have spoken on your behalf. Please come see me when you get out. I wish to thank you myself in person. Auralee Skydrape. Oh, P.S. Zephyra is still not herself. You would find us both at my store, where I have the means of taking care of both of us.
Gotcha.
Let me guess what Dexter's gonna find at the store.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So you get to the store and it's closed. It's got a closed sign up with an actual sign saying back in a few days, owner is under the weather, please forgive me, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Then Dexter's going to go to his backup person that he was going to see, which happened to be Auralee.
Yeah. So you head over to see Auralee. What is Taryn doing? Because it wouldn't take you long to read these letters.
Yeah, of the 2 letters, I think Taryn would probably stroll more than, run towards Auralee's first, because she was the one that we dealt with more compared to the nurse who we haven't actually met yet. Nope. So she would walk towards Auralee, and we'll probably catch up with you either around the time you arrive or soon
probably
after.
Pretty similar. I mean, their shops are across the square, but so is the Without Wings. It's kind of in the main square, so, by the time you walk straight there and Dexter sort of does a detour. Yeah, you would probably meet up at the store at the same time.
Cool. What are you doing here? I thought you were gonna see your lady friend, but she is here. Just if you'd read these notes, you would have seen this. Oh. You rushed off before reading.
I tend to do that. The other store was closed, so I figured I'd come here. But good to know.
That's pretty good logic. You're very smart.
Oh,
for a land dweller, you're pretty smart.
Got that monk wisdom.
I'll note that down for later. That's good. But they are inside. We could go talk and see how they're both doing, Auralee and Zephyra.
That's true. But how are you doing?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm pretty good. It's really exciting being up in the sky. I've never been up here before. I mean, you guys haven't been up here either. But, yeah. How are you? Because you also took you almost got eaten. I'm so sorry I had to wrap that lure around your neck last week.
Look, it's you did what you needed to do to keep me from
desperate times.
That creature. Desperate times. It kind of gave me flashbacks to the other time I was almost eaten by a huge creature. This seems like a pattern.
This does
I don't love it.
No, we need to fix that. You're smart.
Yeah.
Book smart. Maybe not street smart.
Oh.
We'll see. We'll get there.
I think I'm farm smart.
Farm smart's good.
I've got farm wisdom. Maybe street smart, but not huge monster creature smart.
We'll work on that.
You saw how I was in the library? Ooh, that was maybe the biggest nasty creature. And that almost ate me.
Yeah, we can say the librarian up here. The librarian. He's very scary dude.
I like that Taryn thinks that Dexter is actually referring to the librarian as the monster, when Dexter's obviously referring to books.
Oh no, Dexter was referring to the librarian. That made him relive trauma.
Maybe that's the DM throwing shade, just there.
Yeah, maybe Dexter's not book smart either.
But you're smart, you're wise. But yeah, no.
He's got something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you kind of are having this chat and you open up the door of Auralee's boutique, you are immediately greeted by its usual air of ethereal elegance, soft light, velvet chaise lounge, shimmering garments, but something feels a bit off. This time, the woman behind the counter, that graceful Auralee, stands frail. She's trembling, she's struggling to breathe, her cough is breaking that stillness. You see her pale skin and her wary gaze, on her, and her bodyguards are sort of, kind of constantly hovering nearby, trying to help, carry this or move that or, while she busies herself making a cup of tea. And you also see in the corner, Zephyra lies currently unconscious on the chaise lounge, but she's breathing, and when you first walked in here, it looked like this glittery, beautiful fashionese fashionista space, and now it looks like
Dull.
a place for broken people to rest, It's quite a shock, probably.
Greetings, Orally. We've been released from the tavern. How are you doing?
Do come in. I was just making tea. I was going to wake Zephyra. She's been asleep for long enough. She needs to wake every now and then to have more herbs, healing. Shall I make one for you too?
Oh, no, thank you. Save the herbs for you two who need it more than we do.
Definitely.
She nods.
She doesn't look so good.
Nah, she looks frail.
Yeah, and the store is less glittery than I remember.
Do you think the store matches her mood? Does she have a magic that...
Oh, maybe. In the same way that the dress was magic, but not really like real. Maybe the store's like that, and she doesn't have the energy to keep up.
Yeah. Completely understandable.
Oh,
yeah. Clang, 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 and she's like carrying this teacup over for Zephyr, and it's just like wobbling as she wobbles,
I'll quickly rush over and grab it from her.
I was gonna say, Dexter's gonna...
Yeah.
You got the cup, I got the saucer.
Yeah.
It's like those videos online, it's like two people doing a one-person job, there's just both of us holding the cup.
Yeah,
cup.
And she gently wakes Zephyr by being like, oh, they're here, Zephyr, I knew you'd want to see. And she sort of wakes like really groggily, being like, what? What? Oh, they're here? Oh. And she like sort of looks up, like kind of slightly panicked eyes, sees like Dexter and Taryn, and is like, oh, and sort of pats her hair and tries to stand up and like, straighten her like dress as she's been like lounging all over, sort of drool coming out of her mouth. She's been like fast asleep, so.
Hey Zephyr, what's up?
Smooth.
So,
how are you feeling?
Nothing these herbal teas won't fix. I'm just a little stiff, sore. Apparently nearly dying, or maybe dying. Really kind of takes it out of you.
I was going to ask how much of that you remember.
I don't remember a lot, honestly. A beautiful black glittery dress grabbed me and crushed me, and then I think maybe swallowed me.
It's pretty good memory. Sorry.
That's pretty accurate what happened.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking that can't be what actually happened.
Well, I think the dress tried to, but I luckily was there to heroically save you from this beast, from this monster.
Yes.
That's what happened, right?
He was very strong. Yeah, he was
you.
very, very strong. Landed lots of punches on the garment, which was a weird thing to watch, but he did very, very well to help rescue you.
I'm really sad. You all did wonderfully. We're alive because of you both. It's why we wanted to see you. And she sort of gestures at Auran, who sort of gestures at the bodyguard, who kind of puts down the material that he was holding and sort of goes wandering out the back. And she's like, it was so lucky you were there. I mean, that thing that you were doing, the pew pew, and the thing that you were doing, and the and the thing that Bardley was doing with the it was just all so wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys have anything like that up here? Do you guys do magic or punching or things along?
We do magic, but there's no need for magic like that, because why would we? Everything is fine in the Air Kingdom. Nothing ever bad happens,
I mean, we've got sick people and a missing wife, but outside of that, it seems lovely.
I mean, there's nothing really to punch when people get sick, apart from your pillow and frustration, and when somebody is missing, they're gone. So
yeah. I see that you're also, I guess you would consider yourself as one of the sick. How long have you been sick for, Auran?
A while.
A while?
Yeah, it started slower than, I didn't really realize I was sick. It was just sort of tiredness and, short of breath and just, general. I thought I was overworking myself, if I'm honest. But then it just kind of, I don't know, just sort of kept getting worse. I mean, it was funny because I couldn't make as much clothing as I used to make, so I raised the prices and I made it more exclusive, and well, it turns out they like that. So
supply and demand.
I kept raising the prices and kept making it more and more exclusive, and now everything's a one-off, and my shop only opens for certain hours, and apparently that's still fine. So, isn't life funny?
Business is weird. Do you know what caused you to get sick, or did it just kind of happen out of nowhere?
No, it just sort of happened. I remember Zephyr came back from her holiday,
How fun. Where did Zephyr go for a holiday?
Zephyr was like, I went down to Isen. Oh, it was so much fun seeing what the folk like there are like. I spent a while down there actually, and got to know some of your funny little customs, and it's actually how my common is so good.
Your common's really nice. Did you teach your sister common as well, or
yeah,
has she been down too?
I mean, it was part of that whole, come to the Air Kingdom, get an exclusive from one of the Air creators, So some of the Isen people will come up and pay an absolute fortune, So it was helpful to have taught each other, but no. And Aurelie's like, no, I've never been. I've always been too busy to go.
And speaking of the magic of the Air Kingdom, this may seem like a weird question out of context, but I promise that it is kind of meaningful. Do you have a magic stone that's gone missing? Or shouldn't be where it usually is?
And they both turn confused to look at each other. Magic stone, that's when the bodyguard from the back comes back out and is like, here it is, Miss Zephyr. And he's got this giant bag, like this sack. And she's like, oh, wonderful, just I guess here, and she's sort of looking around. It's this tacky, here, and the guy just plonks the sack down, and it jingles in a way that is just wonderful to the ears of anybody who is broke.
Yes,
this thing looks like it is full of coinage, and she's like, "This is that Isen that, I have more than I know what to do with, and it really feels like I owe my life and my sister's life to you, so only right that you should be given a reward for your services."
That's very kind of you.
That's very generous.
I didn't really know how much was right to, so is 2,000 gold right?
Dexter's gonna try to keep a straight face and be like, yeah, that's a decent amount.
Oh, good. I didn't want to offend,
Yeah, well,
I don't know what the conversion is. I don't work with this gold normally. I'm not from Isen so much. I'm in the underwater. But
right, yeah. Well, they pay me about 2,000 for one of my most unique dresses. So
wow, that's very, very cool. Would you ever consider showcasing your designs down in Isen? Maybe when you feel a little bit better, or
maybe if I was feeling better. But
yeah.
I think and Aurelie and Zephyr exchange glances. I think history is shown up here. It's not really a thing that you get better from. But it's a nice thought. Maybe you could wear one of mine or something. Would you like one? Looks at Taryn, yeah.
I would love one. I'd love to pay you for one.
Oh, no.
Whoa. We've just got a generous amount of gold. It would be insulting to kind of spend it. Oh, you mean for free? Okay.
Yes, no, please. On me. I don't really have the energy to make anything new, but you're more than welcome to pick from any of the dresses I've already made.
Thank you. I'll have a look around soon, because... But I do have a quick question. All the people that got sick, did they also attend your common classes? Did they learn common as well?
Zephyr laughs and goes...
It's a funny question.
No. I think you'll find that up here, Auran is considered the language that we should be speaking. Common is mostly spoken to those who work with the tourists from other areas. It makes sense for us to be able to converse in a language that most creatures can speak. But Auran is mostly what's spoken up here.
That's fair.
Right. Have you noticed any trends among the people that are sick? If I could also note down symptoms, different phases of things, that would help.
So they will start having a conversation about, some of the people that they know are sick. Like between them, they kind of bounce, some, and so-and-so's neighbor is sick. Like they're just kind of having that chat. Roll me maybe like an investigation check. Or pitch me another idea, I guess. For like paying attention. Yeah, okay, yeah. To pay attention to their chat and see if you can find some kind of pattern to what is happening, or like common sort of sounding, symptoms as you would, yeah.
That is a dirty 20.
Nice.
And in the meantime, Dex is also going to look around and see if there are any of the dresses that are close to monk robes. And if there aren't, he's just going to be like, nah.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Can I do an Arcana check after you've spoken about?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just roll for the Arcana and yeah.
Yeah.
So as you're kind of like listening to everything that they're talking about and they're saying, it seems like a lot of the people that Zephyra used to, Orally used to kind of sell to, some of the rich, the elite, those who sort of consider themselves kind of a bit above everything, literally above, they're sort of more often the ones that are getting sick, or and then Zephyra, as you're kind of talking to her like about some of the people, it seems to be really poor, like those without any kind of money are also getting sick. Sort of the middle, like the in-betweens, and pretty much anybody who deals with like the tourism trades doesn't seem to be. In fact, Zephyra's like, and I went down to Isen with this person and this person and this person. We're all fine, and they're all different ages and races and, all of that kind of stuff. So like they're bouncing, and you're like, well, hang on a minute. As you're kind of putting some of that together, and I'll come back to that. Arcana, what'd you get?
I got a net 20 for 24 for Arcana.
Yeah. And so as you're talking about like the symptoms of being sick, it really seems quite natural. It does not seem like this is magical at all.
So no object kind of came up with anything on it to...
Nope. Like in any kind of normal magic thing where they would have to come into contact with person or object or whatever, or space, there's none of that seems to be in common. So this actually does look like it's more of a normal illness.
Okay.
But Dexter, you're starting to notice that what they're talking about is people that really haven't had either the opportunity to leave Air or the inclination to leave Air seem to be the ones that are coming down with the sickness. Anybody that seems to have left Air and come back doesn't seem to be sick.
Right. I held back when you sit down with the sickness.
I did too. I just held it real low.
Great man.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, Dex is going to note down. There could be a bad air. The more air that you have, that's very interesting. We have interacted with medical people before. I don't know how the postage system works here. You might know. But if I can get a letter to them, I could hopefully get either at least a second opinion. If not, maybe they fancy a trip up to the Cloud Kingdom to appreciate your amazing grasp of common.
Oh, well, I mean, they'd be more than welcome. But the post usually goes to Isen on the skywags that come. There's usually sacks going on most as they travel to and fro. So head to the ports and post your mail for not much. I don't think it costs a lot. They're already going, so...
Yeah, and even if it does, we've just come into a bit of gold.
Well, I hope that it's helpful.
Oh, it'll be very helpful. We'll actually use part of it to help you both and try and figure out if we can, source your illness.
And they,
source the illness.
They nod and they look exhausted. Like, this is a lot of conversation for two people that are not feeling great. And, like, they're being very, like, hospitable and trying to answer all your questions, but you can see that they're, like, struggling to hold themselves up and all they want to do is just slump, you know?
Yeah.
Jack's gonna go, for now we're gonna leave you to sleep, and then just kind of rummage around his robe. In the time being, I hope this kind of nourishes you, get energy. And he's going to hand them each a cupcake that he got at the bakery.
Cute. And they're like, oh, wind whisks. Oh, wonderful. Yes, this is lovely. Thank you. Oh, and don't forget, I'll take one on the way out. And so, like, Dexter, yeah, you do rummage around and see something that looks like kind of fancy robes. I mean, she's definitely made garments for, like, all sorts of different inclinations of clothing, you know? So there is something there that you're like, wow, this is, like, way fancier than I would have normally worn, but it is ropes. We'll come back and you can tell me about what they look like another time. But basically just put, like, fancy sky drape robes on your sheet. Yeah, Taryn, you find something the same.
Probably like a simple ball gown or something, but I'll make something up.
You can think about it, chew on it, and come back to it later. Because, you know, fancy clothing is probably not going to go amiss if you're going to have to present yourselves to people later. So this might come in handy as well.
Fine clothes as part of adventuring gear. I will add that to my equipment. Yeah,
so as we kind of leave our heroes as they leave the Skydrape sisters to sort of slump together in recovery, we follow Dexter and Taryn as they chat about what they want to do next out to the ports. Dexter sort of scribbles a letter and we see it, you know, get onto a flywag which is going to be heading down to Isen soon. And we follow that flywag for a moment as it moves out from the ports before we spiral down through the clouds from high above. And we hear a noise, like a quiet scream growing in our ears that we aren't even sure is ours. We glimpse the cloud-hidden shed of Smuggler's Rest, where sick creatures lie dying. A tired air elemental holds an instrument and stares upwards to the air kingdom above, with an expression of fear and sadness. He reaches the metal upwards, seemingly measuring where the sun stretches across the sky, and Lassen scribbles numbers in a notebook, the last in a long column. Peering closely as we pass, we see the numbers are a little less every time, and we notice a tear fall from his eye onto the page before he closes it. We continue to fall. A woman with blonde flowing hair wearing tattered remnants of a puffy pink dress rides on the back of a sparkling, beautiful large creature with wide wings and teeth for days that cuts through the skies, moving from the Air Kingdom's castle east towards the free lands of Isen. Turning back to look behind her as if checking to see if she's being followed, we see how young Empress Albra Marama of Arkvale really is. Seeing no one chasing her, she nods to herself, and with a look of determination, she dives through the clouds and disappears from sight. Tumbling further and further downwards now, the world below lies in a grim and desperate stillness. The once azure blue of the northern sea seems now a murky, swelling mass of decay. The waters churn with an unnatural, sickly hue, tainted by poison that seeps from the depths. Toxic spills stain the surface, spreading like dark veins and suffocating all of the life that once thrived. Creatures of the deep, twisted by corruption, claw at one another from frenzy of madness, and their once graceful forms now warped and savage. With a calculated insanity, they turn their sights on the cities of the float, driven by the need to survive in a world that no longer feels like home. The floatess turns her armies against those who were once friends, and Perla chokes back cries as she feels the pain of her linked temple elemental. Turning our eyes away from the waves of sadness, we look towards that world of Isen. Once lush fields and forests vibrant with life, now stands in silent decay. Like a filter that's been placed over an entire continent, the earth, once rich with bounty, has turned treacherous, its soil corrupted and tainted. It's choking the life from all that grew. The stench of rot hangs heavy in the wind, and people, their faces etched with hunger and weariness, toil endlessly trying to get something to grow, scraping what they can from poisoned land. Crops withering before they reach maturity and hope fading. How will they feed themselves? How will they be able to keep going? A woman in a dirty denim jacket covered with buttons rests in the shadows as she watches a group of musicians get ready to play for a dirty and exhausted gathering of local folks. Caves, they're calling themselves, and they promise to spread cheer to all that listen. But as they begin, the woman in the shadows, Destiny, she's called, places something firmly in her ears and watches intensely As we descend past the ground and everything grows dark around us, we hear the screams grow louder. We realize that they are the cries of the desperate, echoing as they struggle in vain for a way to heal the worlds of Isen, all worlds that seem destined to die. And that's the end of the episode.
Bloody hell. I mean, the next book of Isen is going to be a young adult novel. Holy dang.
Yeah, it's going to follow Destiny. Destiny, real MVP.
Yeah.
So Caves are not the MVP. They stole our money and then bug it up.
I wanted to bring back a lot of things that we left behind us in 2023, 2024. Touch base, stick on what is going on down in Isen and all of these places that we've left, because just because we're up here in air does not mean that earth and water have gone anywhere. They are still struggling to survive. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And who's going to help them?
But what?
Is it maybe the Sidebars? I don't know. We'll have
At this point,
to see.
probably not.
It's
Destiny.
In classic Sidebars fashion, really weird from, we have new clothes, the world is dying. And everyone hates it.
That would be right, because you guys are just, you're just trying to do the right thing. It's not your fault the world is, crumbling around you. Like, it's not anything to do with you.
Motley team of 4 people thrown together.
Yeah.
Against forces greater than both our control and understanding.
It's also not only you clearly out there. As you can see, the Flotes and Perla are out there doing their thing, Empress Alba is out there doing her thing. Destiny is out there doing something, Who knows who else is out there?
What's Speaker Rodakana doing during this time?
You know what? Rodakana probably was just wrapped up with Wetmas. He's got a lot on his plate,
We missed Wetmas? What?
He's doing paperwork.
Yeah, you missed Wetmas. So sorry about that.
That's like Taryn's favourite holiday.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on our adventure today, and we really hope to see you again. If you are listening to this on the podcast app of your choice, maybe come along to the live stream to catch the action directly as it happens. We stream every second Wednesday at 7:30 NZTT, and we would love to see you there. Many, many amazing people are involved with the production of this podcast, and I'm very grateful to each of them for their hard work and dedication and their original setup of the OBS stream, which meant that I didn't have to crash it, which was great. So I want to give a big shout out to number one on the top of that list, Sam Sarah, who set up the OBS to begin with and did make it easy, even if I screw it up. So that's good. A big shout out to my partner in crime, Brad Zimmerman, who I see has been in the stream chat the entire day. So sorry, Brad, that us audio noobs make it harder and harder for you to edit things. I appreciate you. And he is the original designer, obviously, of World of Isen in Book 1, a world which I am apparently killing. So sorry about that. Big thanks to Amy Ward Art, our glitteriest moderator, doing all of the hype in the chat and just freaking out about giant lore drops at the end there. Thank you so much for always being here and keeping our chat a wholesome and hilarious place. Thank you to Haunted Sandwich for character art they designed for Sidebars. Amy Ward Art, yet again, for creating some of the art that you see for our characters. Aiden Mesa Photography for capturing our players in real life. We are proud members of Kiwi RPG, Kiamu Whakatau ao Aotearoa, and we really do recommend you go and visit their website to find other amazing Kiwi creators out there doing awesome stuff. And of course, this podcast would not be able to keep going without the Patreons who keep the lights on in Isen HQ and make the Discord a delightful home on the internet. We are incredibly grateful for your support. And I have a list. So let's do this. Okay, Alex White Robinson, Irene Cucci, Laura Kristen Goodwin, Sam Malcolm, Kay, Victoria and Gavin Porter, Daniel Nichols, Squish Malcolm Crow is dead for most of the Sixth Sense, Alexander Lekites, Andrew Evans, Chaos the Fox, Zekiro, Tara Borelli, the Christian Age, Disturbed 1NZ says the real life When of the Forgotten says remember the forgotten. Well, he says meow, but we all know what he means. Lyndon Hood, Tom Ailey, hashtag Paul Smells, what did the sushi say to the bee? Erika Jane, Penny D, Aaron Gilgren, Moji, Danielle the Tea Lady, Lady of the Tea, and the Tea Leaves, Liz from Time to Die, a D&D podcast, Paul Chalk, hashtag Tom is cool, the sushi said wasabi.
So good.
So good.
Hype.
Hype. Hype!
Hype.
So you too can tell jokes in the Fady Patreon by joining with another person or just telling the joke yourself for as little as $2 a month.
2 bones.
2 bones. And if you need some more dice and your dice life, you can head over to our partners fanrolldice.com, use the promo code FATEOFISIN and get 10% off your entire order, which is a lovely little kissy in the background. And I would also like to say a big shout out to my partners in crime, BD&D, for helping Paul manage to get this kobold to my house while we were away on holiday so that I would come back to a birthday surprise.
Incredible.
Greeting
Amazing.
me in my house. So, big shout out to BD&D for all your gaming needs. Look, I gave them a free ad for that.
Yeah. The joke gave them a free ad as well.
But last and not least, very much not least, I want to give a big love with all of my whole crazy chaos DM-laden heart to my players. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me through this absolute crazy thing that we're trying to do, this years of a podcast and telling a story together. And I really, really appreciate you guys just turning up and giving it your all and getting invested. And I love you. So
This is fun.
I'll pass it over to you to tell people where to find you on the socials. Take it away, guys.
You can find me on TikTok at Julz Damn. No, you get no plugs. Amy should be dropping those bad boys in the chat. Facebook, TikTok, definitely. I do have an Instagram page, but it's mainly just like personal weird stuff. But maybe we'll link it at some point. It's 2020 Thrive. I will release a new social network that I'm on every few moments.
Did you just say 2020 Thrive? Because that's
Yes.
good.
I said that in the intro as well.
Oh, so that's good. Like,
I missed it, but yeah,
I've been listening
Check
to-
it JD.
I've been listening to another podcast that named the year, and in 3 hours, it took them, the first 2 hours was incredible. I will link that later, because we should plug another podcast at the moment.
Yeah. I still want to know what some of the options were for the podcast.
It's like 2020 Hive down to business was the one that they were pushing for.
Also, from the humor, I think I know this podcast, but
I think you would too.
these 3 brothers ain't getting a shout out for free. Get out of
I
here.
know, that's why I haven't linked the name, but I will reference 2 incredible episodes of Absolute Madness.
Hey, there we go. But yes, Facebook, TikTok, all of the good stuff. You come chill, come hang out.
And I'm Erika. I've been playing Taryn and today. I don't know what links Amy has because I surprised her last time with a brand new link. I have
Keep them guessing.
Instagram as Jayne, and I think the handle one that I linked that I forgot about all over the summer break was my TikTok one, which was Starry-Eyed Harpy, and I think I remembered that. Yay, that's good.
Nice,
Oh,
I'm proud
thank
of you.
That's good. I genuinely don't know what it was, so that was fully be panic stations. Over to you, Julz.
So hey, I've been your Julz. I've been your Julz.
The one, the only.
The
Julz.
only. The Julz from NZ, actually, because I am the only Julz from NZ. That is JULZ from NZ. You can find me on most things over there. Blue Sky, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the things. And I really would appreciate if you come follow me. I've got some really exciting things coming up this year, including maybe a super exciting thing to announce about Wellington Armageddon this year. It's not locked in, it's not solid, but I am pretty excited about things that are happening this year. And I also did want to introduce Commander Regipri Shivi. Now, Regipri Shivi means gift guard in Draconic. So he is my gift guard.
Incredible.
Yeah, and he has a little kobold mini army to command. So
Amazing.
he is a commander. Yeah. So, yes, very excited. Thanks so much for joining us again today, crew. I believe that there are not any more links, actually.
I don't know, but I would never doubt you, Amy, is what I will say. Never doubted.
There was one link I shared if you are in the Wellington or Greater Wellington area.
Yeah.
This Friday I am doing 1 minute of stand-up comedy at possibly my favorite show that comes up every year, twice a year sometimes, called Only the New Stuff, where it is essentially most comedians in the scene. You get about 80%, about 40, 50 odd comics all doing 1 minute of a new joke that they wrote over the Christmas, New Year period. Maybe a few jokes, but they get 1 minute. And if they go over that time, Neil will murder them with a harpoon. So
It's a full type 5.
It's a full... No, some people still run the light on a minute show, and I love comedians. I'm like, how? It's one joke.
Great.
But I'll be doing that with so many fun, cool, amazing people. So if you're around, it's going to be an amazing show.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. Usually we would do a fake ending because we would have a lot more cool stuff to share with you about what Isen is up to. But honestly, there's just the three of us.
And I don't even do shows, so that's like 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 is bad.
This is both the fake ending and the real ending, so look out. Again, I want to just say a big thank you, and I appreciate you for stopping by, for listening, for joining us all the time, for making Fate of Isen have a little bit of space in your home, in your heart. You have heaps of space in mine. Thank you so much. E roha nui, ka kite anō. Goodbye. See you again soon. Love you.
Call your parents! Call them right now! Do it!
2025, y'all!
Do it! 2025! Call your parents!
Go!
Goodbye.